And next week, Thai PBS will host a very important meeting as well.
We have our own important conference too.
Yes, it's the conference about value of public media, which will happen at the Thai PBS on 15 and 16 of November. It's the cooperation between Thai PBS, Goethe Institute, Input International Public Television, Communication Faculty from Chulalongkorn University, and Communication Faculty of Thammasat University, and NIDA to cooperate together to hold a Thai PBS Public Media Conference and Mini Input 2018 in Thailand. This will be the very first time ever to have this kind of international organization, international conference at the Thai PBS. And the key event is to have a speech, keynote speech. Keynote speaker is former Prime Minister Kun Anand Panyarachun. He will be talking about value of public media in 21st century. So it's not the only issue about Thai PBS, of course, but issue about public media in the world and the value for people, especially in this day and age that social media are blossoming and having closer approach to Thai people and people in general. And right now we have our special guest, Kun Pipope Panichpakdi, Deputy Managing Director of Thai PBS, and he will join one panel of discussion on this international conference. สวัสดีค่ะ คุณ Pipope ค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. You'll be one of the key speakers of a panel discussion on the value of public media.
Well, yeah, and actually we all know that today everybody seems to have access to media, not only as viewers or listeners, but also as producer of meanings. So actually, it can be what we call a media crisis. People mention about the disruption in the media, but for me, I think it's a great opportunity for the public media to do something to engage more people into the dialogue that's going on in our society.
So there's opportunity hidden in the crisis, in the disruption.
Of course. Every time I go to any conference, people talk about the dilemma of where the public media is going to be. I say, well, it's going to be fine. It's going to be with the people, and it's going to be part of this great dialogue. One of the purpose of the public media is to guarantee participation of the public. And I think by have this kind of devices that we all have who render great opportunity. Of course, there's a challenge because society seems to be really fragmented when everybody get a chance to do their communication. Just think about the big disaster that's going on around us, like in Indonesia. People can get panic with fake news, false news, both intentionally and unintentionally. But so I think more than ever, the role of public media is more relevant to the media landscape today.
So you don't see crisis for public media at the moment, even though social media perhaps is much more influential nowadays?
Well, to be quite honest, I see a crisis, but within that crisis, there's a great opportunity. It's how we handle it. It's how the public interpret the meaning of the public media. We want to be something relevant. In the old days, maybe public media is about bringing information from top to the bottom. But today, I think it's all about two-way communications and how we can guarantee the more engagement and more participation into creating meaning. There's election coming up in Thailand next year, so public media will play a crucial role in carrying on this kind of engaging dialogue that everybody feel that there's an ownership in that piece of conversation.
So perhaps you must be preparing to bring what Thai PBS has been doing in order to engage, like with local communities, to put their content nationwide.
Exactly. Today we have the word user-generated content, and Thai PBS is really invested. We work both on ground, and we develop an application where people can participate in our program, criticizing it or giving inputs to what we're doing, and that's one thing. And secondly, we think that Thai PBS should be a reference media, a media that people can referring to when they have doubts. So not only Thai PBS, but I think public media will be more like a reference source for the society when things are in doubt.
Of course, I mean, the role of public broadcasting has always been questions, I mean, by critics.
Of course.
I mean, because you use taxpayers' money and your programs, I mean, don't always get good rating. I mean, that's the perception of the people that, I mean, good programs must get good ratings, right? So but the challenge is how to overcome this kind of perception that even though the programs that Thai PBS and other public broadcasters produce may not, I mean, have good rating, you may not be watched by millions of people, but they have some kind of values that that doesn't reflect. It's not reflected in productions or programs on commercial, I mean, media.
Well, the thing is, the economy of media has always been economy of attention. But I think what the public media is trying to do, not only in Thailand but the world over, is to creating meaningful dialogue. And when you do meaningful dialogue, you sometimes you don't get the best of eyeballs, but you get quality conversations going on. So one thing which will be on one of the panels is about quality rating and how we can value the program according to its merits that it creates for the viewers and the society. So I think that's another thing that should be interesting during the meeting that we will have this month. How should we define good media? The most that people watch, or something that when people watch, they get something out of it and they go do something in the real world. At Thai PBS, we always said the viewers not necessarily have to be tuned in all the time. They can tune out to the on-ground activities, to the civil roles. We're really interested in communicating so people become more of the citizenship, doing something, contributing to their own community.
So public broadcasting is more than what you see on the big screen, right? It's no longer the representative of public broadcasting. It's about your activities and how you reach people, I mean, through other platforms.
And it reflects clearly on, if you look at our program that we have, it's not staying tuned from morning until midnight that we're looking for. We want something that, say, parents watch it and they go out with their children and do something in the park. They go watch us and they think about something in their society, the community. So it's kind of like, I want to call it action TV or action media. I think public media should encourage people to do something rather than just watching and listening.
Yes, but it's big challenge facing us, especially in this day and age when people have more options in terms of their time.
Yes.
And perhaps TV is the last option for people in following the news.
Well, yeah. Well, I always said there's two parts of storytelling, story and telling. Story will always remain the same, but telling may be manifest in different kind of devices.
That's where the challenge is.
which is well, actually at Thai PBS we're really interested in transmedia communication too. Like right now we do it on air and online, and I think it's something that everybody have to adjust to this kind of new environment.
And with the content, Thai PBS have to do a lot more as well, because we cannot just be standalone unit any longer.
No, and the key word for me is relevant. We have to continue to be relevant, not only to the city folks, but everybody, you know, and try to be relevant to everybody. In the old days, it's really difficult because you have only one television screen. But today we have devices, we have many platforms. So I'm really positive about all this, even though people might raise questions. And I think another aspect that I realized that people have more literacy. They start to understand what good media is all about. And by that happening, because we went through a lot of political turmoil in the past, and they learned that after all, something that reliable and dependable and trustworthy is of great value.
No one issues that will be raised at the forum is the challenge of financing. Yes. Thai PBS now lives on money from the so-called sin tax, right? Sin tax, the tax on alcohol and tobacco. And long term, I mean, there are many people who are afraid that this bill will not be sustainable. And to try to get more money for the public broadcasting will not be easy.
No.
Politicians or even members of the public would be sort of quite concerned how the money will be used. So long term, what do you think will be other options?
Well,
I'm not talking specifically about Thai PBS. I mean, I'm talking about other broadcasters as well.
Well, I think supporting from the people is the key word. Supporting come from many forms. It can be a direct supporting, it can be a kind of subscription, it can be a kind of donation. And I think one thing, according to the Thai PBS law, we can make some income from our intellectual properties.
Okay.
So now by trying to invest in what we call on-demand, SVOD, subscription-based video on demand, that would be another venue. But the most important thing, I think people have to be aware that there's a cost in getting valuable stuff.
It's true.
Right?
Yes.
And in that cost, good, dependable information is of great value in today's society. So I still hope that we still have our purpose, and our purpose is relevant. And by doing so, we will continue to gain the support from the public, either directly or indirectly.
Yes. You know, the media are always seen as a major pillar of democracy, right? And it holds those in power, interest group, accountable.
Yes.
And how do you see the role of Thai PBS in this context?
Well, I think the one thing that we ought to always do, I always say that actually public journalism is only a subset of journalism. So we will fail if we think that it's something separate. So in order to serve the public, we have to be good at our journalistic values and do our basic work well too. So I think that kind of sums up my sentiment as far as public media is concerned. But more than service on the journalistic aspect, we also have to do edutainment and something that people can use. We now have morning program that focus on do it yourself, DIY, and so I think perhaps being a pillar in a democratic society is the utmost important function, but there are also other functions that we have to do as well to be able to survive in this kind of chaotic media landscape.
Talking about the challenge facing media, it's not only public media, but overall it's about disrupted by technology, disrupted world, and how to transform the whole organization to face or to cope with digital transformation is very big challenge, isn't it?
Yes, and I think first of all we have to, in the old days, broadcasting industry, we like a big factory. Today we have to change to small shops, and these shops are quite have to have their independence, their own free wills, but together working as a network. So this kind of transformation, it cannot take forever because whoever cannot adjust will extinct, like the dinosaurs.
Die away.
So the most important thing I think is right now we are all aware that it's of great importance that we change, but the way of changing, we shouldn't forsake our fundamental role. This is my really concern. I don't concern too much about changing. I think people ought to change because there's external factors pushing us to change. But how can we maintain our values? How can we maintain to be something that the public can trust amidst the change? That's the real challenge as far as being a deputy general director at Thai PBS.
But do you think you now have the trust of the public after 10 years in service?
I totally believe so. From the cave incident in Chiang Rai kind of proven beyond all doubts that when things become really bad and the crisis hits the town, people tune to Channel 3.
But public media in many countries which are remaining intact, like in Sweden, in Switzerland, they have to been through soul-searching period as well.
Of course.
And in this conference, we will see a very important documentary from Swiss Broadcasting Corporation. They will share with us their experience in having public hearing, having people vote whether they would like to have public broadcaster in their society,
Right.
which would be very valuable source for us to learn from them.
I'm looking forward for to listen to the panels, to watch. There's many films and documentaries that really are values for us as practitioners as well as people. Just to see how other people are doing. Actually, the conference is part of what we call inputs,
Yes.
and these inputs are formed by organizations that involve in public
Right.
broadcasting.
It's a non-profit organization. Right?
Yes, so I think it's a great opportunity. I would like to invite everybody, if you have some time to spend. It's on the 15th and the 16th of
Yes.
this month. And
It's open to public.
It is.
Okay.
Yes, and if you cannot come, but I would like to invite all of you, if you are interested in the role of Thai PBS in Thailand, you can watch us live on Facebook, or you can come to the Thai PBS. It's free event for all.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who haven't really watched Thai PBS at all. So what would be your message to these people?
Who haven't watched ThaiPBS at all? Well, it's 10 years already, so come and give us a chance, And a lot of people said that when they tune to us, they learn something, and that I think that's something that we can hope for public media to function. That when you watch something, you get to learn something. It can be an international incident, or it can be just a small little things that make your life more workable in the day-to-day business.
Okay. So public broadcasting does have a future.
Wow.
Yes,
I truly believe so.
Okay.
yes, we have to be optimistic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so please come and join us on 15 and 16 of November. We have Public Media International Conference at the Thai PBS, or otherwise you can watch us on Facebook Live and many online platforms that we are serving you. So that brings us to the end of our program Thai PBS World Tonight, and we'll meet you again next Thursday. สวัสดีค่ะ
Thank you, Kun Pipope, too. Thank you.